आज क्या छुपा रहे? इसके बाद चैंटिंग के बाद
क्या करते हैं?
मैं कुछ छुपा रहा हूँ। अरे कुछ छुपा रहा हूँ चैंटिंग का। इसमें अच्छा तो इसमें याद ही नहीं।
होश नहीं है तेरे को।
मुझे कोई याद नहीं चला पा रहा है। Morning chanting, page 2, Hindi book.
कम वाले बीच में मिक्स
बीच वाले छोड़ने का मतलब सीधे त्रिरत्न पर जाना है। त्रिरत्न पर जाना है इसके बाद यो सो भगवा अरहं सम्मा सम्बुद्धो स्वाखातो येन भगवता धम्मो सुपटिपन्नो यस्य भगवतो सावक संगो तमयं भगवन्तं सधम्मं ससङ्घम् इमेहि सकारि यथार्हम् आरोपितेहि अभिपूजयाम साधुनो भन्ते भगवा शुचिरपरिबुतोऽपि पश्चिमा जनता नुकम्पमानसा इमे सकारि दुर्गतपणाका प्रभूते पटिगणातु अम्हाकं दीर्घरतं हिताय सुखाय अर्हं सम्मा सम्बुद्धो भगवा बुद्धं भगवन्तम् अभिवादे स्वाखातो भगवता धम्मो धम्मं नमस्सामि सुपटिपन्नो भगवतो सावक संघो संघं नमामि हन्दमयं बुद्धस्य भगवतो पुब्बभाग नमकारं करोमसि नमो तस्य भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा सम्बुद्धस्य नमो तस्य भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा सम्बुद्धस्य नमो तस्य भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा सम्बुद्धस्य। अब त्रिरत्न वंदना करेंगे पेज 7। हंदमयम रतनतय प्रणाम गाथा यो चैव संवेग परिकीर्तन पाठन च भणामसे बुद्धो सुशुद्धो करुणा महर्णवो यो चन्त शुद्ध वर ज्ञान लोचनो वन्दामि बुद्धम् आदरेण तं धम्मोपदीपो वियत सत्तुनो यो मग्गपाकामत भिन्नको लोकोत्तरो यो च तदत्तदीपनो वन्दामि धम्मम् आदरेण तं संघो सुखेताव्यतिगेत संयुतो यो दिट्ठ संतो सुगतानुबोधको लोलपहीनो अरियो सुमेधसो वन्दामि संघम् अहम् आदरेण तम् पुण्यं मया यमपम सबुपद्दवा माहोन्तु ते तस्य प्रभावसिद्धया इध तथागतो लोके उपन्नो अरहं सम्मा सम्बुद्धो धम्मो च देशिको नियानिको उपसमिको परिनिब्बानिको सम्बोधगामी सुगतपवेदितो मयं तं धम्मं श्रुत्वा एवं जानाम जातिपि दुःखा जरापि दुःखा मरणमपि दुःखं शोक परिदेव दुःख दो मनस्य उपायासापि दुःखा अप्येहि संप्रयोगो दुःखो प्रियेहि विप्रयोगो दुःखो यमपीच्छं न लभति तमपि दुःखं संकित्तेन पंचुपादानखंडा दुःखा सेयतीदं रूप उपादानखंडो वेदनो उपादानखंडो संयोपादानखंडो संखार उपादानखंडो विज्ञान उपादानखंडो ये संपरिन्याय धर्मानो सुभगवा एवं बहुलं सावके विनेति एवं भागा च फलस् भगवतो सावकेषु अनुशासने बहुला पवर्तते रूपम अनित्यं वेदना अनित्या संज्ञा अनित्या संखारा अनित्या विज्ञानम अनित्यं रूपम अनत्ता वेदना अनत्ता संज्ञा अनत्ता संखारा अनत्ता विज्ञानम अनत्ता सब्बे संखारा अनित्या सब्बे धम्मा अनत्ताति ते वयं भूतिनामः जातिया जरा मरणेन शोके हि परिदेवेहि दो मनस्ये हि उपायासे दुःखो तृणा दुःख परेता अप्येव नाम इमस्य केवलस्य दुःख खंड अंतिक्रिया पञ्या येथाति चिर पर निभृतमपि तं भगवन्तं शरणं गता धम्मं च संघं च तस्य भगवतो शासनं यथा सति यथा बलं मनसि करोम अनुपटिपजाम सा नोपटिपत्ति इमस्य केवलस्य दुःखखण्डस्य अन्त्यक्रियाय संवतु
Abdamfat, 9th chapter, Papa Vaggo सुनेंगे.
अभिद्धरेथ कल्याणी पापाचित्तं निवारये दन्धं हि करोतु पुण्यं पापस्मिन् रमति मनो पापं चे पुरिसो कैरा न तं कैरा पुनः पुनः न तं हि छन्दं कैराथ दुःखो पापस्य उच्चयो पुण्यं चे पुरिसो कैरा कैराथे तं पुनः पुनः तं हि छन्दं कैराथ सुखो पुण्यस्य उच्चयो पापोऽपि पश्यति भद्रं याव पापं न पच्यति यदा च पच्यति पापं अथ पापो पापानि पश्यति भद्रोऽपि पश्यति पापं याव भद्रं न पच्यति यदा च पच्यति भद्रं अथ भद्रो भद्राणि पश्यति मावमन्येथ पापस्य न मं तं आगमिष्यति उदबिन्दु निपातेन උදකුම් භෝපි පූරති පූරති බාලෝ පාපස්ස ධෝකධෝකං පියාචිනං මාව මඤ්ඤේත පුඤ්ඤස්ස නමං තං ආගමිස්සති උදබින්දු නිපාතේන උදකුම් භෝපි පූරති පූරති ධීරෝ පුඤ්ඤස්ස ධෝකධෝකං පියාචිනං වානිජෝ භයං මග්ගං අපසත්තෝ මහද්ධනෝ විසංජීවිතු කාමෝව ආපානි පරිවජ්ජයේ පානිම් හි චේවනෝනස්ස හරේය පානිනා විසං නාබ්බනං විසමන් වේති නත්ථි පාපං අකුබ්බතෝ යෝ අපදුට්ඨස්ස නරස්ස දුස්සති සුද්ධස්ස පෝසස්ස නංගනස්ස තමේව බාලං පච්චේති පාපං සුඛුමෝ රජෝ පටිවාතං වකිත්තෝ ගබ්භමේකේ උපජ්ජන්ති නිරයං පාපකම්මිනෝ සග්ගං සුගතිනෝ යන්ති පරිනිම්බන්ති අනාසවා න අන්තලික්ඛේන සමුද්ද මජ්ජේ න පබ්බතානං විවරං පවිස්ස න විජ්ජති සෝ ජගතිපදේසෝ යත්ථඨිතෝ මුංචේය පාපකම්මා න අන්තලික්ඛේන සමුද්ද මජ්ජේ න පබ්බතානං විවරං පවිස්ස න විජ්ජති සෝ ජගතිපදේසෝ යත්තඨිතං නප්පසහෙය්‍ය මච්චු සාධු සාධු साधु
इसका हिंदी अनुवाद सुनते हैं।
अभितरित कल्याणी पापाचित्तं निवारये दन्धाहिन्य करोतु पुण्यं पापस्मिन् रमति मनो। शीघ्र करे पुण्य कर्म पाप से चित्त निवारण, आलस करे यदि पुण्य में मन करे पाप में रमण। पापंचे पुरुषो कैरा ननम कैरा पुनः पुनम न तमहि छन्दं कैराथ दुःखो पापसमुच्चयो। यदि तूने किया कोई पाप न कर उसे बारंबार, न हो उसमें तुरंत पाप का संचय दुख अपार। पुण्यंचे पुरिसो कैरा कैरान पुनम पुनम तमहि छन्दं कैराथ सुखो पुण्यस उच्चयो। यदि तूने किया कोई पुण्य तो कर उसे बारंबार, हो उसमें तू रत, पुण्य का संचय सुख अपार। पापोऽपि पश्यति भद्रं, याव पापं न पच्यति, यदा च पच्यति पापम्, अथ पापो पापानि पश्यति। पापी भी अनुभव करता सुख, जब तक फल न देता पाप। जब पाप देता फल, तब उसको वह जानता पाप। भद्रोऽपि पश्यति पापं, याव भद्रं न पच्यति, यदा च पच्यति भद्रम्, अथ भद्रो भद्राणि पश्यति। भद्र पुरुष भी अनुभव करता दुख, जब तक फल न देता पुण्य। जब पुण्य देता फल, तब वह उसको जानता पुण्य। मामं मन्येत पापस्स, न मन्तं आगमिष्यति, उदबिन्दु निपातेन, उदकुम्भोऽपि पूरति। पूरति बालो पापस्य, थूकं थूकं पिक आचिनम। थोड़े से प्रभाव न पड़ेगा, यह सूच पाप को न समझो छोटा। मूर्ख भर जाता पापों से, यद्यपि करे एकत्र थोड़ा थोड़ा। जैसे पानी की गिरती बूंदों से भर जाता जल का घड़ा। मावमन्येत पुण्यस्य, न मन्तं आगमिष्यति, उदबिन्दु निपातेन, उदकुम्भोऽपि पूरति। धीरो पूरति पुण्यस्य, थूकं थूकं पि आचिनम। थोड़े से प्रभाव न पड़ेगा, यह सोच पुण्य को न समझो छोटा। धीर भर जाता पुण्यों से, यद्यपि करे एकत्र थोड़ा थोड़ा। जैसे पुण्य पानी की गिरती बूंदों से भर जाता जल का घड़ा। वाणिजोव भयं मग्गम्, अपसत्तो महद्धनो, विषं जीवितु कामो व पापानि परिवर्जयि। थोड़े परिचयों वाला धनी व्यापारी जैसे त्यागी मार्ग भय मुक्त भययुक्त और जीवन इच्छुक त्याग विष, वैसे ही रहे पाप कर्म से विरत। पाणिमयी चेवणो नास, हरेयव पाणिना विषम्, नाब्बणं विषमन्वेति, नत्थि पापम् अकुर्बतो। कोई कष्ट नहीं होता घाव रहित हाथ से छू भी ले विष। कोई कष्ट नहीं होता उसे जो न करे पाप कर्म सामिश। यो अपदुट्ठस नरस दुस्सति, शुद्धस पूषस अनङ्गणस्य, तमेव बालं पच्येति पापं, सुमुखो रजो पटिवातन्वखित्तो। शुद्ध चित्त, आश्रम रहित, निर्दोष पर जो होता है क्रुद्ध, यह पाप मूर्ख पर आ पलटता, जैसे फेंके सूक्ष्म धूल पवन अविरुद्ध। गभ्भमी की उपजनन्ति निरयं पाप कम्मिनो सगम सुगतिनो यन्ति परिनिबन्ति अनासव। कोई गर्भ में उत्पन्न होते पापी निरय लोग, आश्रव क्षीण पाते निर्वाण सत्पुरुष देवलोक। न अंतलिखे न समुद्रमध्ये न पब्बतानं विवरं पविस्स न विज्जति सो जगति पदेशो यत्थितो मुच्येयं पापकम्मा। संसार में कोई जगह नहीं, न अंतरिक्ष न समुद्र न पर्वत की विवर में, जहाँ बैठकर प्राणी बच सके पाप कर्म के दुष्फल से। न अंतरिक्षे न समुद्र मध्ये न पर्वतानं विवरं पविस्स न विज्जति सो जगति पदेशो यत्थितं नप सहेयमुच्चु। संसार में कोई जगह नहीं, न पर्वत विवर न समुद्र मध्य न आकाश, जहाँ बैठकर प्राणी न बने काल का ग्रास।
We shall now meditate with the ending question. Whether will give a reflection on deathlessness is like this.
So now this is the last day. Just observe then that very perception of last day, how that affects that state of mind. It's different than a week ago. There's a way that language, concepts, and that affect consciousness. So being the knowing, being the consciousness itself, knowing the condition, last day is like this. So this is Puto Tammo Sangho, Buddha Dhamma Sangha. And it's like taking refuge, Bhutang Saranang Gacchami, and that this is the refuge, this awareness. Then this sense of me and mine, my life, my body, my feelings, and then this is a conventional reality, but in terms of Dhamma, it's language, and then the sense of me and mine, and the knower of me and mine. Puto Tammo Sangho. This is seeing it in terms of the way it is rather than when you operate from the unquestioned position of me and mind, then you become happy, sad, success, failure. You become the age of your body, you become always becoming something or other, because the me and mine is forever changing. But awareness of me and mine, this is the Bhutto Tamo relationship, seeing things as they are, knowing from this position of knowing and discerning rather than clinging, attachment, and all the proliferating thoughts and emotional conditions that arise from clinging to this perception of me and mine, my life, my body, what I think, which always creates a division of me and you. So there's me and then there's you, then the separation. I experience life always through feeling separated. This is the reality of unenlightenment, is you always feel separated in some way from others, from life. There's always a struggle. Because separation creates a sense of loneliness and death and loss and fear, greed, hatred, delusion, or how we experience life through this sense of me and mine. Then taking refuge in Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, then this is a skillful means, a reminder. Not as a doctrine, but a reminder. It has if you use it, it does, you don't even need to think Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, because it's just the truth of the way it is. But it's also a skillful reminder how to use language, concepts, pointing at reality rather than defining it or ignoring it. investigation, remind yourself, santitiko akaliko dhamma. Apparent here now, timeless, ehipasiko, come and see, wake up, look, it's right here, and not something you have to go to another place to find. So this is a helpful reminder of that it's not about time and place. So like the deathless, this nibbana, enlightenment, these kind of words, when we see them on a personal level, isn't it? From the me and mine position, then we just get caught in doubt. What is nibbana and enlightenment? Deathless. So nibbana sounds, as if, most of the time referred to as a very high attainment. So that, seeing nibbana, defining nibbana from the self, from the me and mine, then it's we don't, generally, we tend to be self-critical, self-disparaging. So nibbana is way beyond me. I still have greed, hatred, and delusion. It's, couldn't possibly attain nibbana and be enlightened and realize the deathless because me and mine, I'm not good enough, pure enough, advanced enough, I can't meditate very well, my samadhi's not very good, I can't sit in full lotus anymore, I have to sit in a chair. And unlike that, this is the me and mine scenario, how it inevitably goes on in that way. So me and mine is always a put down, actually. It's making you, blinding you to apparent here and now timeless reality. And that's where this wake up, apparent here and now, timeless. Remind yourself. So it's like listening, attentiveness, the deathless here and now, amatta dhamma. Just by inquiring like this, if it's merely a concept, then it's, or an abstraction, a kind of verbal abstraction, then it, and that's how we tend to grasp it from the me and mine position. But from the Putto Tamo refuge, then we apparent here now. This is now. The time is now. The place is here. This is it. And so then we're reminding us, remembering this, the sense of awakened attentiveness, listening, poised attention. Where the sense of me and mine, I should be mindful, and all that drops away. You're no longer, you're no longer operating from that you've got to become mindful, but you're being this itself. And you discern it. This is it. This is awareness. Sound of silence helps if you can recognize that, or whatever, but it's not that which is still, unchanging, attentive, poised, that includes everything. It's not closing your eyes and and rejecting and controlling the mind, but opening. So this is the deathless. Is this? It's real. It's not some kind of interesting, fascinating Buddhist metaphysical concept anymore. Or is it a matter of, I don't believe in the deathless. I think that's just, Buddha didn't teach the deathless. He said there's suffering. And so we get into our, I know what the Buddha taught. I'm a Pali scholar, and I have a PhD in Buddhist studies. I'm also expert in Sanskrit, Tibetan, Chinese. I've written very highly praised academic treatises on there is no deathless, no nibbana. That nobody reads. But these words aren't meant for grasping or believing, but they're ways of using these kind of concepts, not to try to, but not from the me and mine, trying to prove they're right or wrong, but apparent here and now, timeless. So that, to really fulfill that, the only possibility any of us have for that insight is paying attention now at this moment, being alert, open, receptive. Because if that's, if you're trying to find it or decide whether it's true or false, you have to start thinking from the me and mine position. Then you read books and then you might have certain, personal preferences. Maybe you just, because you can't figure out what nibbana is, you just say, rubbish. Because it's, who wants to bother with, it's just, nobody knows what it is, so that's still this sense of me and mind grasping a concept, a Buddhist concept. But that concept itself is not to be grasped, but it's a reflective, apparent here and now. It's not about me attaining nibbana, because then I've lost it again. If I go, I have realized nibbana. And on that retreat, I've really... I really got somewhere because I realized nibbana. So I must be, probably I'm an arahant. And you say, am I? I just read about an arahant? And it's doubt, me and mine, attached. So his relationship of the unborn, uncreated, unformed, unconditioned, there is escape from the born, the created, the formed, the conditioned. Also this, this is, I think, a perfect basis for reflection. So apparent here and now, timeless, and mindfulness, the path is the path to the deathless. Appamado Amatapadang in the Dhammapada. This is one of the verses I've used for years for reflection. Appamado Amatapadang. Heedfulness, paying attention, being here and now, is the path to the deathless. Amatta Padang, translates literally path of the deathless. Deathless path. Amatta, Amara is the same, means the same thing, the deathless. Appamado means mind being fully present, mindful, sati sampajanya, paying attention. So what is that? That's a poetic statement. You can appreciate it's it has a kind of lilt to it. But then, what is that? Mindfulness, appamado, amatpadang, is the path to the deathless. And then the next line is pamado machunopadang. Heedlessness, not being mindful, is the path to death. Machunopadang. Machuno padang is path, machuno is death. So I mean, this taken doctrinally is one thing, but what does that really mean here and now? Because as a person, as a me and mine, if I never see that and understand Sakkaya Ditthi, if I'm always operating from Sakkaya Ditthi, then I'm on the path to death, wherever, no matter how many retreats I take. Mine is the death-bound path, Machunopadang. I'm determined to be selfish, heedless, not mindful, and die. Then the third line is appamado namiyanti. Appamado namiyanti is mindfulness, heedfulness is not dying. Pamado ye pamadaya tamada, and heedlessness is dying all the time. So this is in the Dhammapada, the appamado Bhagga. It goes appamado amatabadang, pamado machuno padang, appamado namiyanti ye pamadaya tamada. So this is a kind of a poetic, beautiful in itself, but then it's not to be just grasped as a nice poem, but it's worthy of reflection. What does this really mean, appamado amatpadang, right now? Not, going to the Pali dictionary and finding out what all the scholars say about it. You don't need to know what anyone says about it. It's using it as a skillful reflection, reminder. then unborn is this, appamado amatapadang. I mean, this is just using these terms. I'm reflecting, you see. It can only be this, in terms of experience here and now. If it's, me trying to realize the deathless, then you're always end up with vicikiccha, never quite sure. Or you just might say, it's not going to bother. I've heard Buddhists say, I'm not going to bother with nibbana or all that. In fact, one time in Thailand, I used to give retreats at this association in Bangkok, and Buddhist Youth Association. And it was pretty much a group like this, 100 people or so. It's called Buddhist Youth Association, but most of them were over 40. Like here. And then there was this Abhidhamma scholar, a Thai woman who was one of the most opinionated people I've come across. And she'd come up at the end of my retreats and criticize me for always talking about nibbana. She's always going to set me straight after the retreat. I try to duck out and avoid her, and she'd always trap me somewhere. And she'd kind of scold me and inform me, he's expert on Abhidhamma. So, because, she didn't think I should talk about Nibbana. But I'm not trying to talk about it as, on that ideological level or scholastic level. It's a useful word. It's in the, Buddha used the words. I mean, it's like a word I've made up. And I'm not defining it either. There's this sense of pointing, apparent here and now, timeless and deathless, nibbana, anatta. What is all these are? Try to define them, and you get caught up in a complicated thinking pattern. Which always leads to doubt, uncertainty. So instead of doing that, he said, nibbana, here and now. It's not about me, whether I'm realizing or can realize nibbana or not. It's a kind of pointer, the deathless here and now. So mindfulness, path to the deathless. It can only be this. Just by intelligent observing, watching, listening. Intelligence doesn't depend on thinking. We think, we believe that to really be intelligent we have to develop, have all kinds of views, opinions, ideas, and analyzing, questioning, on and on like this, and coming up with interesting conclusions to our intelligent ideas. But, when there's awareness, there's discernment. It's not, you don't go into a kind of a dull, dumb state. You don't become a amoeba or something that can't, doesn't think, doesn't have a language. So this sense of supatipanno, ujupatipanno, the practicing in the right way. So this is like a way of parent here now, timeless. The deathless, unborn is this. And then and that, if you keep reminding and observing, trusting this, not in any view you have about it, but in just the reality of attentiveness is like this. Then these teachings all come together at this point. Because Buddhism can sound complicated on a conceptual level. So it's but the emphasis, the essence, the condition sine qua non is mindfulness. This is not asking you to do something impossible, or even to develop some super duper samadhi, which you'll never quite, you get it and then you lose it. And if you're still developing samadhi from Sakya Ditti, it's, it's better than, plotting to blow up something, but it's not to be dismissed, but always where, to sit here and develop samadhi is not to be despised. But if we never get beyond that, we're still the pamado machino padang, and still trapped in the illusion of death. Me, I'm going to die. Death is me. What happens when I die? Where will I? What will I do? Where will I be? But from this awareness, then, this what's going to happen to me when I die is seen from Bhutto position, awakened, knowing, intelligent. Non-self, it's not personal, not mine, but it's like this. It's real, it's reality. It's a fact, rather than some abstract concept. This is reality. This is real. And then the Sakya Ditti becomes, you see it, it's just so obvious. What I think, what I feel, what I like, don't like, what I want, don't want. I'm getting old. I don't know what's going to happen when I die. What's going to happen to Amravati when I'm dead? What will happen to the Sangha that I have established in Britain when I die? And I could think of all kinds of things to worry about. When you're at the end of your life, you're looking back, and so you're not, looking forward is always, the death. When you're young, you've got a lot to look forward to. When you're my age, it's death. But this is reflecting on the way it is, so that Bhutto Tammo Sankho. Buddha knows Dhamma, so this isn't Ajahn Sumedho teaching the Dhamma. That's maybe samutsacha, or conventional statement, worldly convention only, but it's not real. It's not real. It's not reality. So that this Bhutto knows the Dhamma. So this retreat's been, my intention is to keep pointing at this, so you can recognize it, encouraged to pay attention to your life, not to criticize or blame, but to just be the observer. And then what do you observe? You like the three fetters, the sense of me and mine, sakkaya ditthi, silapata paramasa, the opinions, views, cultural attitudes, social attitudes that you have, assumptions that you have about how things should be, or about yourself or others. And then this attachment to language, always never quite sure whether I'm doing it right or wrong, whether I'm on the path or not. So this doubt is this awareness allows us to observe, to be the knower of doubt. Where the sakkaya always sees doubt is, I want to know the answer, I want to solve the problem. I want somebody to tell me the answer to the question and the solution to the problem. So the sakkaya always wants security by having an answer for every question, a solution to every problem, rather than being the knowing, the Bhutto Dhammo observing, not knowing. So it's knowing, not knowing is like this. So recognize that the sakkaya is knowing about things, like modern education is conditioning, so you acquire all kinds of knowledge about science, psychology, religion, culture, history, physics, philosophy, so we go to universities and we acquire degrees and know a lot about all kinds of subjects. But that's knowing about, that's not knowing directly in terms of Dhamma. So Bhutto Dhammo is knowing Dhamma, not knowing all about Buddhism. So you can know all about Buddhism and not know Dhamma at all. So then there's a body awareness, the breath. So this is the four postures: sitting, standing, walking, lying down. The breathing, sound of silence, and take time during your daily activities to observe the mood, not to criticize, but to just be the knowing of feeling stressed is like this. It's feeling stressed out by being busy and having all kinds of responsibilities and things to do. And, begin to, when you see yourself getting all wound up and stressed and burnt out by your life, take time just to say, what is it, observe this state, this knowing the state of mind, the mood is like this, feeling stressed, burnt out. Try to stop thinking about it, blaming it or blaming yourself, but just this sense of tension and stress is like this, seeing it in terms of Dhamma. So instead of, going, oh, I'm so stressed, my life is just, too much to do and I'm just getting burnt out by it and that's how you might be feeling. But then in Bhutto Tammo, that's how the Sakkayaditthi, that's how you're used to, when you feel that stress, you see it in terms of Sakkayaditthi. Or just that slight shift to Bhutto, observing, the knower, it's like this. Cittanupassana, in the Satipatthana, Cittanupassana, Satipatthana, in that sense of, I'm so stressed and burnt out, and then observe this, just the feeling, without trying to think about it, or keep operating from a I'm stressed position, but be the observer, the Bhutto, seeing this feeling of being stressed is like this. And it really, you begin to use these opportunities for insight. It's the way it is right now. This energy, this unpleasant feeling is like this. This mood, state of mind, emotional stress is this. And so you're discerning it, not criticizing or being averse to it, but just because that creates more stress, but just receiving it like this. We open it wide, receive this stressful feeling. It's like this. And then, remind yourself to with metta, to accept this unconditioned, this feeling of stress. So your relationship to the feeling of being stressed is a metta one. It's not trying to get rid of it, but you're willing to feel it, to be with it, to allow it to be the way it is. And then, more and more, you're aware of its changingness. And as you develop more confidence, you see that feeling cease. But don't think, I'm going to be mindful of it so it'll go away. That's playing games with yourself. It's like having a big club, in your hand with metta written on it. Yeah. I'm going to pretend I have metta for this stress, but when I'm going to get rid of it. So this is where, this Bhutto Tammo is not about getting rid of pain and stress and misery and solving all my emotional problems and solving all my problems in relationships and so forth, but it's forever, this sense of awakened attention to conditioned phenomena is like this. The sense of me and mine and the ownership of stress and pain is a creation. I'm, out of this heedlessness, then And I really believe that I'm stressed. Stress is me. And I shouldn't be. It's so unpleasant to feel stressed. And then we go, then we have to get away from the conditions that cause me stress. And we totally believe, committed to this sense of me and mine. But then remembering Putto is not me and mine, it's attention, awareness. And it's non-critical, so it's meant, it's not trying to get rid of stress because I don't like it. I don't want it. I want to get rid of it. It's observing. It's willing to receive pain and misery and stress and that equally with happiness and the good things. So that's like metta, isn't it? It's not, metta is being non-critical, not operating from whether you like it or don't like it, good or bad. And then the end of suffering. There's suffering and the end of suffering. So if you develop or cultivate bhavana, confidence in mindfulness, part of this, then the faith or confidence or trust, once you see, recognize it, realize no reality, then the path is this awareness itself. Appamado namayanti. Mindfulness is the deathless. And ye pamadaya tamata, and heedfulness is the same as death. Heedlessness is like me and mine, operating out of ignorance, habit, attachment to conditioned phenomena is like ye pamadaya tamada, and heedlessness is death itself. So this is, you're attached to death. The sakkayaditthi is all about death. Me, and what's going to happen to me when I die. And mindfulness is the deathless. So it's here and now, isn't it? You realize it. Third noble truth, realization. This is reality. The deathless is real. Nibbana is reality. Anatta is real. So from awakened attention, putto, tammo, sankho, then these kind of they're reminders, and they can be used very skillfully, not for grasping or becoming, but helpful reminders to be awake, aware, observant, listening, accepting, allowing the evil, unpleasant, horrible things to be what they are, rather than always judging, trying to control, get rid of. Then in Supatipanno, the Sangha, refuge in Sangha, then doing good, a relationship to the world around, to the environment, to the society, to our family, friends, is doing good and refraining from acting, speaking in ways that are harmful, deluding. So when we live in the society, and then our relationship to it is compassionate and karuna mudita, joyful, and upeka, equanimous. We find this sense of balance and ease within ourselves, that we're not caught up in hating the enemy and trying to, wanting to seek revenge and get rid of and annihilate and punish all the bad people on the planet, the Burmese generals, and other closer leaders. So this is doing this every day. It's like I'm saying really the same thing every. It's like we need that. We need that here because it's so easy, the world does seem urgent, important, and so powerful, and it's very intimidating, what people think and want and expect of us, and what we expect of ourselves, and the problems of the world, the society, politics, economics, and just go on, and there's, it's just so, and this is what you hear in the news, and what people talk about, and what we tend to obsess our minds with. So that's why this Buddho, Dhammo, Sangho, this period that we've had here the past 10 days is a rare opportunity really for just putting aside that to observe, to have more confidence in being this awareness itself, rather than somebody who's trying to become peaceful or enlightened.
पिछले दिनों से जो हम प्रवचन लुंगपुर के सुनते आ रहे हैं, आज अंतिम रिफ्लेक्शन हमने सुना, और इसमें भी उन्होंने संक्षेप में सब बातें दोबारा दोहराई कि वो मुख्य ध्यान हमारा किस तरफ आकर्षित करना चाहते हैं। जो भगवान की शिक्षा है उसी के जो आयाम है उनको उन्होंने आधार बना के एक बार फिर संक्षेप में बताया कि हमें क्या करना चाहिए, हमारे एक एटीट्यूड क्या रहे। जैसे वो बार बार कहते हैं बुद्धो धम्मो संगो, बुद्ध की शरण जाना, धम्म की शरण जाना, संघ की शरण जाना, उसका तात्पर्य क्या है वो फिर समझाया कि बुद्ध जो हैं बोधि के स्वरूप हैं, जागृत अवस्था के स्वरूप हैं। तो बुद्ध की शरण जाने का मतलब है कि हम सजग रहें, माइंडफुल रहें और अपनी अवेकन्ड अवेयरनेस की तरफ बढ़ें, साधना करें। और धम्म की मतलब जो भी है जैसा है उसको जानने रहें। तो सारी साधना उन्होंने कहा बुद्धा सीइंग द धम्मा, तो उसमें मैं का भाव न रहे। सभी प्रवचनों में मुख्य बात ये थी, जैसे उन्होंने कहा कि मैं वही बात बार बार दोहराता रहता हूँ कि हमें सक्काय दिट्ठी की ओर बहुत सजग रहें कि कोई भी हम काम करें तो उसमें मैं और मेरे का भाव ना आए, क्योंकि मैं और मेरे का भाव आता है तो फिर तुम और तुम्हारे का भाव आता है और उसमें संघर्ष होता है। सेपरेशन के कारण ही संघर्ष का भाव जागता है और दुख जागता है। तो उसको गहराई से देखना होगा। तो देखने का मार्ग यही कि हम सजग रहें। दूसरी बात जो बार बार इतने दिन उन्होंने कही, अपमादो अमता पदं, कि जो प्रमाद रहित रहना है अर्थात जो सजग रहना है या माइंडफुलनेस है, सती है, वही हमें अमृत की ओर ले जाएगी, विनाशी अविनाशी तत्व की ओर, डेथलेस की ओर ले जाएगी, निब्बान की ओर ले जाती है। और अगर हम सजग नहीं रहते तो हमारा क्षेत्र मृत्यु का ही क्षेत्र रहता है जिसमें हम बारंबार चक्र करते रहेंगे। और ये भी उन्होंने अपने अनुभव से विश्वास दिलाते हैं कि हाँ, कोई ऐसा भगवान की जो शिक्षा है, देयर इज़ अनबॉर्न अनक्रिएटेड अनफॉर्म्ड, कि कोई कुछ अविनाशी तत्व है जो अकृत है और अविनाशी है, उसको, क्योंकि अगर वो ऐसा नहीं होता तो इस संसार से मुक्ति का कोई मार्ग नहीं था, कोई साधन नहीं था। तो वो विश्वास से कहते हैं कि हमको उसको अनुभव करने की तरफ बढ़ना चाहिए। और जो अवेकन्ड अवेयरनेस है उसका नियरेस्ट एट्रीब्यूट है, जो अवेकन्ड प्योर चित्ता है उसके लिए उसका जो नियरेस्ट एक्सपीरियंशियल एट्रीब्यूट है वो सती है, जो कि हम शुद्ध रूप से महसूस कर सकते हैं, अभ्यास कर सकते हैं सती का। और क्योंकि वही अमृतत्व का मार्ग है। और ये सती जो है केवल उस अलौकिक तत्व की ओर ही नहीं, लौकिक जीवन में भी हमारे बहुत मदद आती है। दुख का अनुभव होता है, अप्रिय परिस्थिति का अनुभव होता है, तो उसमें भी हम सती रखें, उसको जाने तो जो दुख जागा है उसकी निरोध का भी ज्ञान हो जाता है। तो संक्षेप में उन्होंने ये बात कही हमको इतने दिनों में, अलग तरह से, अलग उदाहरण से समझाया। अब ब्रह्म विहारों का पाठ और अभ्यास करेंगे। हिंदी टाइम से तुम्हारे फॉर्मेशन पहले ही समझ नहीं आती लोगों को ज़्यादा। कर लो, मन है तो कर लो। हम 33 है शायद। आज पूरा ही करेंगे। मैडम का कहना है कि आज ठीक से ब्रह्म विहारों का साधना की जाए, जो समय है अभी। सबसे पहले मैत्री ब्रह्म विहार अपने प्रति, अपने प्रियजनों के प्रति और आरक्षण करने वाले देवताओं के प्रति, कि हम सब वैर से मुक्त हों, मैत्री से भरे हों, व्यापार से मुक्त हों, दुर्भावना से मुक्त हों, सद्भावना से भरे रहें, चिंता से मुक्त हों, प्रसन्न रहें, सुखी रहें, अपना संरक्षण सुख से कर सकें। फिर यही शुभकामनाएं अपने प्रियजनों, माता पिता, बंधु बांधव, आचार्य, धर्म भाई, धर्म बहनों के प्रति, और फिर यही शुभेच्छा हमारा आरक्षण करने वाले देवताओं के प्रति, चाहे वो धरती पे हों, आकाश में हों या पेड़ों पे हों। तानन परिहरामि, मम माता पितु आचार्या च ज्ञातिमित्ता च सब्रह्मचारिणो च अविराहोन्तु अव्यापज्जाहोन्तु अनिगाहोन्तु सुखी यत्तानं परिहरन्तु। आरक्षा देवता, भूमट्ठा देवता, रुक्कट्ठा देवता, आकाशट्ठा देवता अविराहोन्तु अव्यापज्जाहोन्तु अनिगाहोन्तु सुखी यत्तानं परिहरन्तु। अब समस्त संसार के प्रति, सब प्राणियों के प्रति, चाहे सूक्ष्म हो, स्थूल हो, दिख रहे हो, न दिख रहे हो, पूर्व दिशा में हो, पश्चिम में हो, उत्तर में हो, दक्षिण में हो, या मध्य की दिशाओं में हो, आर्य हो, अनार्य हो, देवता हो, मनुष्य हो, पुरुष हो, स्त्री हो, चाहे नरक में ही वास कर रहे हो, उन सब के प्रति यही शुभकामना कि वे मैत्री से भरे रहें, दुर्भावना से मुक्त हों, सद्भाव से भरे रहें, चिंता से मुक्त हों और अपना ख्याल ठीक से रख सकें। सब्बे सत्ता सब्बे पाना सब्बे भूता सब्बे पुंगला सब्बे अत्ता भाव पर्यापन्ना सब्बा इत्थियो सब्बे पुरुषा सब्बे अरिया सब्बे अनरिया सब्बे देवा सब्बे मनुष्या सब्बे विनिपातिका अविराहोन्तु अव्यापज्जाहोन्तु अनिगाहोन्तु सुखी यत्तानं परिहरन्तु। अब करुणा ब्रह्म विहार, अत्यंत कष्टदायक स्थिति सारे विश्व में, लाखों लोग बीमार, हजारों लोगों की मृत्यु हो चुकी है। अपने देश में भी रोग बढ़ता ही जा रहा है और अब हम लोगों को फिर अगले 20 दिन फिर घरों में कैद ही रहना होगा। इस कारण से कई लोगों के दुख बहुत बढ़ गए हैं, अधीर हो रहे हैं और उस अधीरता के कारण और दुख बढ़ रहे हैं। सभी के दुख दूर हो, सभी के चित्त शांत हो, सभी के कष्ट दूर हो। उनके कष्ट दूर करने में जो भी बाधाएं हैं वो सब समाप्त हो। जो रोगी हैं उनको दवा समय पे मिल पाए, नई दवाएं, उपयुक्त दवाएं जल्दी से खोजी जा सकें ताकि और रोगियों की संख्या न बढ़े। शीघ्र अतिशीघ्र सब रोग से मुक्त हों, स्वस्थ हों, ऐसी शुभकामना करते हैं। संगीतियो वाजन्तु सुको रोगो विनश्यतु माते दीर्घायुष्माकरायु सुखी दीर्घायुको भव सुखी दीर्घायुको भव सुखी दीर्घायुको भव। कृतज्ञता ज्ञापन उन सभी के प्रति जो अपने परवाह न करते हुए लोगों की सेवा में लगे हुए हैं। वो सभी स्वस्थ रहें, सुरक्षित रहें, उनको आवश्यक सुविधाएं मिलें ताकि वो खुद बीमार न पड़ें। सभी डॉक्टरों के प्रति, नर्सों के प्रति, पैरामेडिक स्टाफ के प्रति, सभी पुलिस वालों के प्रति जो कठिन परिस्थिति में लोगों को गलत काम करने से रोकने का प्रयास कर रहे हैं। सभी आवश्यक सेवाएं प्रदान करने वालों के प्रति आभार, कृतज्ञता। ये सभी हमारे पुण्यों में भागीदार हों, सबका मंगल हो, सभी सुरक्षित रहें, स्वस्थ रहें। पुण्यस्यैदानि याना अन्यानि कथानि मे ते संचे भागिनो हन्तु सत्तानन्तपमानका। मुदिता ब्रह्म विहार सब लोगों की प्रसन्नता को शेयर करते हैं जो दुख से दूर हुए हैं, रोग से मुक्त हुए हैं। हज़ारों लोग और भी जिन लोगों के घरों में अन्य कारणों से प्रसन्नता आई है, उन सभी को याद करके उनके प्रसन्नता में हम शामिल होते हैं और शुभेच्छा करते हैं कि उनकी प्रसन्नता, सुख संपत्ति बनी रहे, कोई व्यवधान न हो। यथा लब्धा संपत्तितो मा विगच्छन्तु। और अंत में उपेक्षा ब्रह्म विहार। हर परिस्थिति में जो लोग दुखी हैं, अस्पतालों में हैं, प्रियजनों के विछोह के कारण दुखी हैं, जो सुखी हैं, उन सब में मन में समता बनी रहे। ये समझ के कि जो भी परिस्थिति आई है जीवन में, जैसा भी विपाक चित्त है, वो हमारे अपने कर्मों का फल है। अतः अपने कर्मों के प्रति और सजग हों ताकि अच्छी काम करें, भगवान की वाणी को याद करें। कम्मस्य का कम्मदायादा कम्मयोनि कम्मबन्धु कम्मपटिसरण यं कम्मं करिष्यन्ति कल्याणं वा पापकं वा तस्य दायादा भविष्यन्ति। हम सब साधक समता का खूब अभ्यास करें ताकि मन कंपायमान न हो। कठिनाइयाँ हैं और बढ़ भी सकती हैं, सब में हमारा मन समता में बना रहे, ऐसे हम अपने लिए, सबके लिए शुभकामना करते हैं, क्योंकि इसी में हमारा उत्तम मंगल है। जैसे भगवान की वाणी हम याद करें प्रेरणा के लिए। पुट्टस्य लोक धम्मे ही चित्तस्य न कंपति अशोकं विरजं क्षेमम् एतं मंगलमुत्तमम्। और चित्त कैसे कंपायमान नहीं होना चाहिए, वो हम रतन सूक्त में उदाहरण पढ़ते हैं कि जैसे एक खंभा धरती में बहुत गड़ा हुआ है, हवा इधर उधर चले तब भी हिलता नहीं, या भी धम्मपद में हमने पढ़ा, जैसे एक पहाड़ है वो हवा के आने जाने से कांपता नहीं है, वैसे ही हमारा भी चित्त कभी विचलित ना हो। ऐसे ही हम साधना करें सजग रहते हुए, ताकि उपेक्षा ब्रह्म विहार हमारी पारमी भी बने और बोधि का अंग भी बन पाए, हमें बोधि की ओर ले जाए। और उसके लिए प्रज्ञा का पुष्ट होना, सम्यक दृष्टि होना अत्यंत आवश्यक। तो हम प्रयास करते रहें कि हमारी दृष्टि सम्यक हो, भगवान की शिक्षा का अभ्यास करते रहें। आए हम सब अपने लिए और सबके लिए शुभकामना करें कि हम सब ठीक प्रकार से संसार को, दुख को देख पाएँ, ताकि और दुख ना बढ़े, गलत काम ना हो। सर्वे सत्ता सुखी होन्तु, सर्वे होन्तु च खेमिनो, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा किञ्चित् पापमागमात्, मा किञ्चित् शोकमागमात्, मा किञ्चित् दुःखमागमात्। भवतु सर्वमङ्गलं, रक्षन्तु सर्वदेवता, सर्वबुद्धानुभावेन सदा सोत्थि भवन्तु मे। भवतु सर्वमङ्गलं, रक्षन्तु सर्वदेवता, सर्वधर्मानुभावेन सदा सोत्थि भवन्तु ते। भवतु सर्वमङ्गलं, रक्षन्तु सर्वदेवता, सर्वसङ्घानुभावेन सदा सोत्थि भवन्तु ते। अरहं सम्मा सम्बुद्धो भगवा, बुद्धं भगवन्तं अभिवादेमि। स्वागतो भगवता धम्मो, धम्मं नमस्सामि। सुपटिपन्नो भगवतो सावक संघो, संघं नमामि।